Hello, everyone. Today is actually special for me because this is the first time of bringing my anonymous stories to YouTube. Some of you may know by now that I do anonymous stories on Facebook. We talk about relationships, betrayal, forgiveness, situations that will make you ask yourself that, wow, if I were to be in that shoes, what will I do? And some situations you can't actually tell until you are in that situation before you can actually say, yes, this is how I will react. This is what I will do. So basically, on this platform, we talk about relationships, marriages, forgiveness, difficult choices, basically situations that, evolves around relationship, courtship, and marriage. So I'm excited that you'll be joining me on this journey here on YouTube. So if you are online, let me give me a thumbs up and let me know where you're watching from. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching from. If you can hear me and if you're online, give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching from before we delve into today's discussion. So this is Anonymous Stories with Oyindamola, a safe space conversation where we talk about real life issues people are going through. So on this platform, it's just for us to, talk about it. And the stories are actually anonymous and, some characters are not the way it is because we have to protect people's interest. So we have to change some things. So we are not mentioning names. We are not going to be specific. So it's just for us to like give our honest opinion, our godly wisdom for the person. So this is basically anonymous. So no names, no direction, no location will be given in detail. So let's go. So if you can hear me, let me know where you're watching from. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching from because this has come to stay on YouTube. So I'd like you to join me on this journey. So let me know where you're watching from. This is Anonymous Stories with Oyindamola, a safe conversation where we talk about real life issues, real happenings, and giving our opinion, our godly wisdom on it. So let me know where you're watching from. You can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd like to welcome you to my first live, first anonymous stories with Oyindamola. So let me know where you're watching from. And if you can hear me clearly, please let me know where you're watching from. And give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. I would love to welcome you. I would love to welcome you. I would love to welcome you. Where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? I would love to know where my viewers are watching from. Let me know where you're watching from before we delve into today's story, before we go into today's anonymous. So let me know where you're watching from before I read out the story. It's actually going to be in three parts. So we can give our godly wisdom, our honest opinion on it to encourage somebody, to encourage a sister out there, to encourage a brother out there. It could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be your friend, it could be your, someone related, connected, associated with you somehow. So don't say it's not me. I'm not there. It could be anybody close to you. So we'd love to hear your honest opinion and your godly wisdom you can give the person. So let me know where you're watching from. I would love to welcome you. Let me know where you're watching from before I go into today's story, before I go into what we have today. So let me just start with this. If you discover that your husband was cheating, would you want to know the whole truth or would you rather know just enough to leave? Let me know your feedback on this. Let me know your feedback on this. If you discover that your husband was cheating, would you want to know the whole truth or would you rather know just enough to live like, oh, this is enough, I'm done? Or would you rather want to know the whole truth? Let's start from there. So I'd love to read your honest opinion on this before we go into today's real story. Let me know your feedback. Let me know your comments on this because the woman in today's story thought she knew the worst her husband had done, but she didn't. A greater shock was actually waiting for her. So let me know your comments, your feedback on this. So this is an anonymous story, as I've said earlier. So let's just go into today's story. Her name is Amara. She had been married to David for 6 years. They weren't the perfect couple, but from outside, everything looked fine. They had their arguments, they had their different seasons, but Amara believed they were still in love. David had always been the quiet type. He wasn't the kind of man who talked about his feelings all the time. David had always been a quiet type, yes, but about 8 months before everything fell apart, Amara noticed something different. His phone suddenly became very important. He started taking it everywhere: bathroom, kitchen, bed, and whenever Amara came close while he was texting, he would lock the screen. At first, she told herself she was just imagining things. She didn't want to become the woman who was constantly checking her husband's phone. She ignored it. Then something happened. One Friday night, David told her he had an emergency meeting. Amara didn't think much of it. It was around 11:40 that night she received a message from him. Don't wait up for me. But something about the message didn't feel right. The following morning, David came home. Amara looked at him and immediately noticed something different. It smelled like a perfume she had never used. Let's stop there. If you were Amara, would you ask him immediately where the perfume came from? Or would you keep quiet and observe? If you were Amara, will you ask him where the perfume came from? Or you just keep quiet and observe? I'd love to read your honest opinion on this. If you were Amara, would you ask him immediately where the perfume came from? Or would you keep quiet and observe? Because Amara didn't confront him, she just watched. 3 days later, she got a answer. David was in the shower, his phone was on the bed. A message came in. The name on the screen was Neka. The message said, I miss you already. Last night wasn't enough. Wow. Amara's heart dropped. She didn't need a DNA test. She didn't need a detective. She just knew that, yeah, there's fire on the mountain. But here is where I want to stop part one. Because Amara didn't confront David immediately. She did something else. And what she discovered next made the affair look small. Like, ooh, it's actually nothing serious. So I want to ask, would you confront your partner immediately after seeing a message like that? Or would you investigate first? Will you confront your partner immediately or would you investigate first? Let me know your feedback on this. Will you investigate first or you confront your partner on this? Okay, so let's continue. If you are just joining us, please tell me where you are watching from. I would love to welcome you. So let's continue the story. Amara discovered that her husband, David, may be cheating on her, but she hasn't confronted him yet. Instead of confronting David, Amara took a screenshot of the message. She waited. That evening, David came home acting completely normal. He kissed her, asked her how her day was, ate dinner, and went to bed. Amara laid beside him thinking, how could someone lie so comfortably to the person they claim to love? The next morning, she decided to investigate. Then she checked their bank account. And that's when she saw something strange. Every month, David had been transferring money to the same account. Not once, not twice, for almost a year. And the amounts were not small. School fees, groceries, medical expenses, thousands of naira every month. What will you think you discover your partner and been secretly sending money to another person for almost a year? What would you think if you discovered your partner and been secretly sending money to another person for almost a year? What would you think? What would like run through your mind. So it's not only cheating, he's been using their money to care for another woman. That evening, you know what Amara did? She confronted him. Who is Ineka? David froze. You know what? David now said, which Ineka? Very funny, right? Amara was now like, so you know exactly who I'm talking about. At that point, it dawned on David that, wow, hey, the secret is actually out in the air. And for the first time in 6 years of marriage, Amara saw fear in her husband's eyes. He admitted it. He had been seeing Nneka. He had lied. He had met her several times. And yes, he had spent their money on her. This is the emotional part. Amara started crying. Not because she didn't suspect it, but because hearing him admit it made it real. She asked him one more question. Do you ever love me? David couldn't answer. Immediately, Amara just packed her bag. She was ready to leave. But just before she walked out, David said, Amara, you are angry because you think Nneka is my secret. He looked at her. Amara turned around. And that's where part two ends. Because the woman Amara thought was her husband's lover was hiding something that David had never told his wife. The woman Amara thought was her husband's lover was hiding something that David had never told his wife. What do you think the secret is? Can you give a guess? What do you think the secret is? Can you give a guess? What do you think the secret is? Okay, let's just finish the story. Amara asked David, what do you mean she's not your secret? David was silent for almost a minute. Then he finally said, Nneka is my daughter. You're what? Amara paused like, what did you say? Come again. What did you just say? Amara stared at him. She couldn't understand what she just heard. Your daughter? David nodded. And then he told her something he had kept hidden from their entire marriage. He explained that before he met Amara, he had been in a serious relationship with Nneka's mother. The relationship ended badly. He believed she had taken the child and moved on. Years later, Nneka found out. Nneka found him. She was already an adult. She needed help. She had been struggling financially. David was ashamed because he had never told Amara about her. So he started secretly supporting her. Now, he wasn't just cheating. But remember the message Amara saw? I miss you already. Last night wasn't enough. That message wasn't from Nneka. David had been cheating. But Nneka wasn't the woman he was cheating with. Because Nneka happens to be his daughter. Not only is David cheating, he also has a daughter. Amara felt relieved about 3 seconds because Ahaga, she was calm. Because even though Nneka wasn't the affair partner, David had still cheated on her. He has still lied. He has still taken money from their home without telling her. And he had kept an entire part of his life hidden from her. And then Amara discovered something else. Can you give a guess? The woman David had actually been seeing was Nneka's mother. The same woman he told Amara was no longer part of his life. So the affair wasn't new. It was random. It wasn't random. It wasn't random. It wasn't new. David had been secretly reconnecting with the woman he had a child with while telling his wife that relationship was completely over. Fear men. Fear men. For me, the biggest issue here isn't just the affair. It's layers of deception, lies. Deception is just too much. He had a daughter the wife didn't know about. What? That's not fair. That's not nice. And he has been secretly supporting her with their money. Come on. Man, you can do better. He wasn't secretly communicating with her mother. And he was secretly communicating with her mother, with Ineka's mother, and still having an affair. Something that he told the wife that had ended things. Now, should Amara forgive the cheating? Should Amara forgive him? Now, the bigger question is, can Amara ever trust this man again? Can she ever trust him again? Can she ever trust him again? Should Amara forgive him? Should Amara forgive him? Should Amara forgive him? Should Amara forgive him? Or would you stay after discovering all the secrets? Would you stay after discovering all the secrets? Which is worse, the cheating or the lying for years? Which is worse? Is it the cheating or the lying for years? Should David have told his wife about his daughter from the beginning? I would love to read your comments on this. I've wrote out these questions because I would love to read your comments. I would love to hear your feedback. Should Amara forgive him? Would you stay after discovering all the secrets? Which is worse, the cheating or the years of lying? Should David have told his wife about his daughter from the beginning? What's your take on this? What's your feedback on this? I would love to read your comments. Let the comments roll in. What do you think? What's your feedback on this? Here's what this story teaches me actually. A relationship can survive difficult seasons because we have different seasons in relationship. A relationship can actually survive it. It can survive arguments, it can survive mistakes. But when secretive lifestyle now comes in, it feels unsafe. It feels unsafe. When secrets becomes a lifestyle, it feels unsafe to me. It feels unsafe because sometimes the betrayal isn't just what someone did behind you. It's not just that. It's everything you made that you are made to believe. Mm. So I want to leave you with one question tonight. If you discovered all this about the person you married, would love be enough for you to stay? Would love be enough for you to stay? If you discovered all this about someone you married, would love be enough for you to stay? Would love be enough for you to stay? I'd love to read your feedback on this. Well, that'll be all for tonight. Thank you for joining me for my first anonymous stories with Oyindamola on YouTube. If you've enjoyed this conversation, subscribe. Subscribe now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Now, because we're going to be having many more honest relationship conversations here on YouTube. This has come to stay. All right. Thank you for joining today's live. I appreciate Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone. Okay. So that'll be all for today. Thank you so much. Stay blessed, remain blessed, stay safe, and see you next time. Bye for now.